Have you ever forgotten a word mid-sentence or suddenly lost your balance without any warning? What if I told you those moments could be more than just aging? They might be signs of something far more serious, something silent, yet dangerous. A silent stroke often comes without the classic symptoms we associate with strokes. No slurred speech, no sudden paralysis, no dramatic collapse. That's why they're so easy to miss. But the effects are real and can quietly steal your clarity, your balance, even your independence. If you're over 70 or care for someone who is, understanding these quiet warnings could make all the difference. So today, let's gently but seriously explore the 9 subtle signs of a silent stroke you absolutely must watch for. Let's begin. 1. Sudden short-term memory lapses. It might seem harmless at first, forgetting where you left your keys or why you walked into a room. But when these lapses start to feel frequent and strange, especially if you've always had a sharp memory, it could be a silent stroke affecting the brain's memory center. Take Margaret, 74, who suddenly began forgetting recent conversations. Not entire events, just small, recent details. At first, her daughter chalked it up to normal aging. But an MRI later revealed multiple silent strokes over the past 2 years. These strokes were so minor she never noticed until her memory began to fade. 2. Unexpected mood or personality changes. Have you or a loved one become unusually irritable, withdrawn, or anxious for no clear reason? Silent strokes can affect the frontal lobe, the part of the brain that governs emotions and behavior. David, 78, had always been lighthearted and calm, but his wife noticed he became quick to anger and easily frustrated over small things. He wasn't aware of the change, but it deeply affected their relationship. A brain scan later showed minor damage from a silent stroke. It wasn't his fault, but knowing the cause helped them both find compassion and support they needed. 3. Trouble with balance or sudden clumsiness. You might stumble more often, feel unsure on your feet, or drop things without explanation. While joint stiffness is normal with age, sudden issues with coordination, especially if you've been steady before, could be a silent stroke affecting the cerebellum. John, a 76-year-old retired postman, had always been active, but within a few weeks, he started feeling dizzy when standing and occasionally bumped into furniture. It was easy to blame it on age until a silent stroke was revealed during a routine check for vertigo. If your balance suddenly feels off, don't ignore it. 4. Difficulty focusing or following conversations. Struggling to follow conversations, especially in groups, or zoning out mid-task, could point to subtle cognitive changes caused by silent strokes. Sarah, 80, loved her book club, but she began missing key plot points and couldn't follow discussions. She felt embarrassed and started withdrawing. Her neurologist confirmed that she'd likely suffered small strokes in areas of the brain responsible for attention and comprehension. It wasn't about intelligence. It was her brain sending a quiet distress signal. 5. Vision changes that come and go. Brief periods of blurry vision, double vision, or even partial vision loss can be frightening, but they pass quickly. They're often ignored. These can be signs of small strokes in the brain's visual processing areas. Charles, 73, dismissed a moment he couldn't see the right side of his plate during dinner. Just tired eyes, he told himself. But a week later, it happened again. He got checked, and yes, it had been a silent stroke. If your vision changes suddenly, even for a few minutes, please don't brush it off. 6. Unusual fatigue or sleepiness without cause. We all get tired. But when overwhelming fatigue hits without reason, especially accompanied by confusion or mild weakness, it might be more than just needing a nap. Fatigue is often underappreciated as a neurological symptom. A silent stroke may briefly reduce blood flow to areas of the brain involved in energy regulation and alertness. Emily, 77, found herself napping multiple times a day and still feeling drained. After a visit to her doctor and a cognitive exam, she learned she'd had 2 silent strokes in under a year. 7. Slurred or soft speech that comes and goes. If your voice suddenly becomes weaker, or if you slur a few words but then return to normal, it could be a warning sign. Silent strokes may briefly disrupt speech coordination. Richard, 81, thought his mouth was just dry when he stumbled over a few words one morning. But his daughter noticed a pattern. It happened after waking up and when he was tired. Silent stroke was the diagnosis. Subtle changes like these might last only minutes, but they matter. 8. Difficulty swallowing or slight choking. Have you noticed difficulty swallowing pills or food going down the wrong way more often? This may indicate a stroke in the areas of the brain that control those muscles. Gloria, 75, started coughing during meals, something that never happened before. She thought she was just eating too fast. But after a particularly scary episode with soup, her doctor referred her for neurological testing. A silent stroke had weakened her swallow reflex. 9. Numbness or tingling in hands or face that goes away. If you've ever felt a strange tingling in your hands or face that disappear within hours, take it seriously. These sensations, even when brief, are red flags. Nerve signals disrupted by stroke can cause numbness or pins and needles feelings in localized areas, sometimes misdiagnosed as carpal tunnel or arthritis. Tom, 79, says hand felt asleep for a few hours one morning. He thought it was how he slept until it happened again. A silent stroke was quietly changing his brain. These warning signs may be easy to dismiss, but don't let their subtlety fool you. Silent strokes are more common than most people realize, especially in older adults. They increase the risk of major strokes later, affect your memory, mood, and independence, and often go undiagnosed for years. But here's the good news. By knowing these signs, you're already one step ahead. If you've experienced any of these symptoms, or you've noticed them in a loved one, please don't wait. Talk to your doctor. Ask for a cognitive exam or imaging if necessary. Early detection can prevent future damage and help you stay in control of your life. We'd love to hear from you. Have you or someone you know experienced any of these silent signs? Which one surprised you most? Leave a comment below and let's support each other through understanding and awareness. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe for more gentle, expert advice on living well after 50. Your health, your voice, your life, they matter. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.